Hey everyone, I just wanted to go over the stages of recovery. This is very, very important because there's a certain healing process that we're going to witness. And that healing process is not easy. You basically have a broad range of let's just say steps. And that's very, very important. First, you obviously have healing. How do you heal? Judy Herman really gets deeply into that. But one of the key characteristics I want to emphasize, and I think everyone, this part of the book is very important. I think it's a more personalized view because it really depends on one's own particular trauma. Behind me is a protest against gender violence. That's a type of healing people after, coming out of an abusive relationship or, other higher things, war, even a car accident, a toxic relationship, child abuse, etc. So this is more of a personalized, um, uh, let's just say, approach. So, but I think safety is one of the key issues. One of the problems with a lot of people who are traumatized is they're not in safe environments. They might go into an area of, say, now I respect sex workers, but, prostitution, and then they're re traumatized through some of the problems within prostitution in and of itself, right? Abuse, etc. So, creating a safe environment is number one. And that's very, very important because as you'll see in the movie, initially it isn't a safe environment for her. And the healing process was very, very difficult. She dissociated with her family. As you could see in the movie, when you do see the movie, if you haven't yet, the accused, her boyfriend wasn't supportive. You need that support for safety. And her boyfriend was like, just get over it. What a jerk, And then she kept on having men kind of harass her, as you'll see in the movie, one of the men who were there in the bar, and then she was going through intrusion and kind of like anxiety and just anger, and I believe she attacked his car or something. That's very, very important. So she's not in a safe environment. And the other way is remembrance to, accept to a certain degree. I mean, not accept and say, oh, okay, everything's over. But, this is part of the healing process is that, people have to remember and then reconnect. Not just what I think about reconnection is so important, but I think it's also reconciling with yourself. And that's what Judy Herman focuses on, to actually address the issue and then become, in a certain way, another person, but a person who can heal from these different types of trauma. So you have safety, you have remembrance, but it's a certain kind of remembrance. It's not just like accept it. It's not, oh, it's my fault, right? That I went to war or I did this or that. It's a certain kind of remembrance that helps you reconnect with yourself and a sense of healing you get. And you need that safety. And I think one of the things that's interesting about reconnection is sometimes they won't reconnect completely with their family, friends, etc., because sometimes they're part of the problem, right? I mean, if you're in an abusive relationship, you don't want to be around that person. But moreover, what happens if you have say, a boyfriend or a partner like Jodie Foster in this movie, where he was not supportive at all? So reconnection is very, very important, but I think you have to do it. This is why this is such a personalized approach, is that you have to reconcile with yourself. And I really think I'm not going to get too deep into this because I want you to basically read this chapter and chapters. The stages of recovery are very, very important. And for you yourself, what do you think are the most important steps of recovery? And you can do a paper on this. In this course, we're doing an internship, and you can do this is what they want, kind of those stages of recovery. And for you as a student and as a human being with agency, for you to kind of take what you think are the most important stages of recovery, and then lay them out in these different steps. Remembrance is a very difficult step. Reconnection can be a very difficult step. Well, they're all pretty much difficult steps. But I think the first and foremost you have to be, for me, and I think other people say no, I think this step is more important than that, etc., is that I think safety is one of the most important things, because that allows you to have the just say ambiance to address all of these other important characteristics. So I'm going to end it there, but I really want you to read this chapter on your own, and I want you to lay out in the discussion board, after like asking a few questions, what do you think are the most important steps after some kind of trauma? And they don't have to be very quickly. I mean, this is can be a long process, but I think also there's kind of a rebirth here, a renewed life. I think there actually is something positive with this book to end with. Number one, it's actually bringing trauma and recovery to the forefront of analysis, which I hope this course to a certain degree does. And also, it really brings the idea of recovery, like trauma and recovery. It's such a beautiful name, because trauma is one thing and then recovery is the other. And then we have to ask ourselves, how can we recover? So I want you to take the stages of recovery, and for you to lay out, it doesn't have to be long, what you think are the most important stages. And if you do a paper, this would be a great paper. How, do you finish with this recovery? I don't think you ever finish, but for the paper, you got to finish the class and the paper. And then if you do the internship that's in this semester right now, I don't know if we'll be continuing with it, but that's exactly what they want to put in artificial intelligence, is how, if someone's chatting, lay out some of these important ideas and steps and characteristics of the process of healing. So please read the last part of this book and take a more personalized view of it, and see what you think are the most important steps. Take care, everyone.